I'm recalling this experience where I was planning to move to a certain southeastern coastal state, whatever, and I was, having to jump from Airbnb to Airbnb because the place that I had booked for an entire 2 months in advance turned out to be a fake listing. And so I get there, can't check in, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm in a brand new place. And I have to just literally jump from place to place. And Airbnb was not being helpful during the process, but that's neither here nor there. I'm at one of these places, and one of the guests and I strike up a conversation. And it's really, really friendly and really, really nice at first. Like, it turns out that um, guy was a surgeon and also a professor. And so he was in town to find an apartment so that him and his partner could move there later for the position that he was getting. And I was like, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. And then he asks me what I'm doing there. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm here, to find happiness and all of that good stuff. And that's when the conversation took a downturn very quickly because he asked me, what do I mean? And I was like, well, I really just want to find a situation where I can be authentically me and, like, I can just live happily and stuff. And he said, you sound like my son used to sound. And when he said that, I was like, oh no, here we go. Like, that's not a normal response to that. I'm like, and I'm about to figure out why it's not a normal response in three, two, one. And then he just goes off. And to try to make a long story short, he is a surgeon. His wife is a surgeon, and they had one child. They had a son. And being that both of them are surgeons, they essentially told him the only way that you can make us happy is if you become a surgeon as well, which is no small feat. Like, I get it. Both of them are probably really, really brilliant and requires a ton of work. But, like, just requiring your child to go about the same career path as you without asking them how they actually feel about it is kind of manipulative and, not nice. And so, but regardless, dude tries, he goes to medical school, but, like, I think as far as he had gotten was, like, he was a nurse practitioner, which to most people they would be like, yeah, you work in the medical field, that's super duper awesome, like, clap clap clap, that's super cool. But they were like, no, you must be a surgeon. And so they kept pushing him and pushing him and pushing him to go back to medical school so that he could become a surgeon. And instead of going back to medical school, he just unalived himself. Because, I mean, what dude told me was basically like, my son is a failure. Like, he couldn't handle all of this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is so terrifyingly sad. Like, instead of owning up to like, to the trauma that you caused your own child, you're just like, yeah, he was a failure. It's basically good that he's not here anymore. And I'm like, this is your own son that you're talking about. Like, it's just, it's insane. Like, how one could equate someone's actual worth to just their position. Like, I'm just, eh.